Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Hey, welcome to New Life Live. I'm your host, Brian Perez, and we're going to be doing two programs today on this Wednesday, April the 9th. Give us a call. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. What is it that's going through? What are you going through right now is what I'm trying to say. Is it inner turmoil, anxiety, depression, stress? Give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. We've got Dr. Sheri Keffer joining us today. She's a doctor of marriage and family therapy. How you doing, Sheri?
I am good. Better now that I'm with you, too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Likewise.
yeah.
Dr. Alice Benton is here, too.
Hello.
She's a clinical psychologist. How are you doing?
Great.
And what's on your mind to start us off?
Well, I was thinking about the top topics that we should be addressing with our children, but they're really difficult to bring up. And so many of the people I work with in my private practice and the folks that call us here on the radio will say that they never address these topics with their children because they're too intimidating. So I picked 4. There are more, but I think these are 4 of the most important. When was the last time you told your children, I love you and I'm proud of you for, fill in the blank? When did you last tell your children, I'm sorry that I? Third, how's your spirituality going for you? And are you willing to talk with me about it? And the 4th one, humbly sharing about God's plan for sexuality. And it just bruises my heart when I hear families tell me, I never heard these things from my parent. Never did they say, I love you and I'm sorry for. They didn't explain anything about sexuality. I really don't know much of anything. I wish they told me more. But as a parent myself, I know how hard it is to bring up these topics. I was reading Every Young Man's Battle the other day, our book by Steve Arterburn. And I felt such an urgency in me. My oldest is a 12-year-old boy. And I thought, it's been a little while since I last talked with my son, checking in about sexuality with him. Did I wait too long? Has it been too long since the last time? So I started it off this way, and I want to give you a model for how to bring up these tough topics with your children, no matter what age they are. I asked my son, hey, can I tell you or ask you about something awkward? I ask for permission first. And he said, sure, go ahead. So I said, Daddy and I have talked to you before about puberty, and eventually, probably any day now, you're going to be feeling and thinking more sexualized things. Have you noticed anything? Is that happening to you yet? Now, I don't know if his answer was honest or not, but he said no. So I asked, are your friends talking about it? Have you seen anything on screen lately? And he said no. And I asked, would you come to your dad and me when that does start to happen? And he said, yeah, I will. Now, I can't guarantee that he will, and he may have lied to my face. I don't know. I don't think so, though, because we have tough conversations like this. Probably not often enough, but we do. All I can control is what I offer to my children, what I bring up to them. They can tell me the truth or not, but they know they have an open door. Now, the reason why I'm able to do this really is because New Life has influenced me so much. My parents did a pretty decent job. I'll give my mom a lot of credit for that with these kinds of conversations. But the last thing that really compels me to do this is accountability from a group of other parents that are also struggling to parent their children well, and from a coach. And because I know I'm going to check in with these people again soon, I want to be able to say I did it. And when I approached my son, I was a little taken aback by how nervous I was. I do this kind of stuff all the time, but I was nervous. So it's having those ingredients together that can help us be better and braver than we are on our own with these key topics with our children.
And on top of the nervousness you might have faced when you asked your son, it was probably a little bit of a relief that he said, no, I haven't had these
big
thoughts.
Relief.
Yeah, but if he had said yes, I mean, that might have added to the nervousness. So I'm sure there's some.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
we
then
could probably.
What next?
Yes, exactly. It's like, I didn't think you were going to say yes. Now what do I do? But no, we've got lots of great resources available at newlife.com that you are welcome to look through and purchase. And we're going to get right to our calls when we come back. Leslie and David, you're next on New Life Live.
early on looking at pornography that went into affairs, massage parlors, strip clubs with buddies. Before you know it, you're ashamed of that.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity, impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
My wife got a phone call, and she asked me who this person was, and man, how do I get myself out of this one?
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
When she said to me, I want you to look at this website named Every Man's Battle, she had me look, and I said, no, this is exactly where I need to be. This is exactly the problems I have, and I'm gonna go.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Washington, D.C., April 25th through the 27th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Use the discount code NLL to save $50. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Yes, that number is 1-800-229-3000. It's the number Leslie called from Jacksonville, Florida. Hi there, Leslie. Welcome to New Life Live.
Oh, thank you so much for taking my call. I really appreciate your time this afternoon. I have a question. It's basically for my sister and I. We have a mother, and she's been a very demanding mother all of our lives, but we have honored her and we have respected her. When our dad passed about 25 years ago, she said to us, well, I guess I won't see you all anymore because you loved your father more than me. So it's been a very hard walk, but we have honored her. She is now considerably older. She's going to be 94 years old, and she's not very well. And my sister and I are considerably older, and we are really struggling with how can we tell our mother that she needs to be in an assisted living facility for the rest of her life. We cannot take care of her. We tried to bring her home with around-the-clock care, and she just yelled out to get Leslie, get Leslie. You know, she would not allow these people to care for her, and they were godly people. We knew these people. So we're really at a loss because we don't want to hurt her, but yet we both, my sister and I, have both been in the emergency rooms because of the stress and because of the fatigue on our bodies, taking care of her. So that's why I'm calling to find out what is the best way. Our mother is a Christian. We are Christians. We serve the Lord. We're faithful to church. We're in the scriptures. I know Mother knows the Lord as her Savior, but we just don't know how to go about moving forward with letting her know without hurting her heart. I know it's going to be hard, but what are the right words we need to say? That's my question today.
Okay.
Leslie, the caution you and your sister have used for a mom who's been really difficult to love and honor and serve, your heart, your Christ-like heart shows. So thank you for being that kind of a daughter. I think it's been a lot of sacrifice and suffering for you and your sister over all these years.
Yes, it's been very tough, but you know what? The Bible tells us to honor our mother and father, and that's what we've done all of our lives, and it's been very difficult. And I mean, she's a wonderful person, but she's very, very demanding on us.
You know, I can't help but wonder, Leslie, a little bit about your mom's background and her attachment history, because she's used language with you and your sister that is fused with somebody who is afraid, like a fearful avoidant. There's an attachment 4-quad model out there that is, basically a secure, there's a preoccupied attachment, there's a dismissive avoidant, and there's a fearful avoidant. And your mom sounds like she's a fearful avoidant. There's reasons why she came into her marriage and really questioned that her 2 daughters didn't love her that much. Do you know anything just quickly about her history?
Oh, honey, she was raised, they were raised with nothing. They were very poor from the time she was 12 years old, she has had to make her own money, her own living. I mean, she has had to do everything independently herself. My dad was an amazing saint. He loved her with all of her heart, and they were married for over 50 years, and he basically took care of her even after he was very ill with heart attacks and, COPD, and his lungs just gave out on him. He still wanted to take care of her, and she allowed him to do that.
That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense because he became her safe base. Like, as a fearful avoidant, what she believes inside of herself is it's a negative S, self perspective, and a negative O, other perspective. What does that mean? That means that I don't feel lovable or worthy of love. That's the negative S. The negative O is I can't count on others to be there for me. I don't know that I can put my full weight down on them. So she's like a feral cat, right?
Yes.
She's like this feral cat who is really hard to love. Feral cats I've got a friend of mine who actually raised 5 feral cats, and that's a story in and of itself. But I'm hearing what you're saying, and I'm believing you. But this is the dilemma, is you said with compassion in your heart, Leslie, I don't know. I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt her heart. And this is what I want to say to you and your sister. It's impossible to not hurt her heart.
Yes, we know that.
Yeah.
But we want to be gracious in how we share this with her.
I understand, but you're going to have to really brace yourself. What you're doing is you're taking a feral cat to the pound.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so that's why she doesn't respond to anybody you guys have had that are loving, caring caretakers to give you guys respite. She's like, no. I don't want these other people. I want Leslie. Because even though, she's been hard to love, she was attached to your dad, and he probably felt the brunt of this, right?
Oh, yes.
And it may even be why he had some heart problems, right? Because that's a big burden.
Yes,
but,
it is.
But when you take her to assisted living, she's not going to do well initially. And she may not do well for a bit. My mom is in assisted living, and we had to move her. And we moved her because she had a fall. So that fall was a good excuse to transition her. And I wish she never fell because she was in a wheelchair. We couldn't pick her up.
Yeah.
But it took my mom probably 18 months to even begin to attach or bond with her caretakers. And so I think part of it is preparing your hearts. Now, how do you tell a feral cat mom that you need to transition her into another place of care? You're going to have to be honest with her and just say, Mom, we would love to be able to do this full time, but we can't. It's too, our bodies can't bear it. It's just too much. We've had doctor's visits. We have a lot that's gone on in our lives. So we need to add some people. We need to add some people to your care team. We're not going to leave you.
No, that's right.
Okay, you're going to need to tell her that. All this attachment language. We're not going to leave you. We're going to see you. We're going to come by. We're going to support you. We're going to work with your team. But we just can't continue caring for you in your home. And we know it's been hard for you to have people come in. We just can't keep doing it without support. Now, that may be enough for her to say, okay, fine, then I'm going to just be okay to have people come in. And then you guys are going to have to make a decision about that. But
we tried to do that, and it was going to cost between $12,000 and $15,000 a month.
Okay.
And she has enough with her income for retirement that will take care of this beautiful assisted living facility. I mean, it looks like you're walking into a 5-star hotel.
Oh,
It's
I
beautiful.
believe
We're
you.
not just going to put her somewhere. We
Yeah.
want her to have quality of life, but she needs to have nursing skills round the clock. She's had a stroke. She had a fall, and I mean, it's just going to get worse.
She
from
needs
here.
a higher level of care.
So,
period.
Leslie, you and your sister are doing the right thing for her, but it absolutely will hurt. She will not like it, and she probably will reject you and might even rage against you for a time because that's her style of what she does when she's terrified. So I would suggest you and your sister prepare for this. You may even want to get coaching, professional coaching ahead of time so that you can practice the words, practice her response, what she'll likely do, kind of worst case scenario, so you and your sister can brace your hearts for it. And when we hurt our family members with truth, which we have to do, it does not harm them. It does hurt them. And that's the key difference. It's okay, and we're obligated to sometimes hurt with truth, but it does not harm. When I have to have a really difficult conversation like this, I do something called bookending, where I talk with a very safe person who knows the details beforehand to say, coach me up, cheerlead me up, pray me up. And then after I have that tough conversation and I'm falling apart because my person is so mad at me and tells me I'm bad for what I did, I go back to my person, my safe person, to say, oh, I'm devastated. Did I do the right thing? Because I need reassurance and I need comfort afterwards. So if this sounds really difficult to do, and I imagine it does, let us connect you with a family coach who can help you practice what we are recommending. Because you're up against a lot. This is really difficult, but you and your sister can get through it, and it is for your mom's good and her best interest.
Are there any resources in our newlife.com store that come to mind that we might be able to send to Leslie?
We used to carry How to Have That Difficult Conversation, and I do want you to look that book up, although we don't have it here now, but it's still available online.
You know, it might be How We Love, and maybe reading about the vacillator attachment, just so that you can realize and try not to take your mom's reactivity personal. It's easy to do when you feel like you're, doing something that they're not happy with. But if you are able to look at that and understand from attachment perspective, she's doing what is normal to her based on her history, and then begin to walk through it. I remember having a whiteboard in my mom's house, and I was having to put the math up as far as what she had and how many years, months she could sustain that, or versus this other situation. And my mom was like, well, I don't want to spend either of that. And it was just like my sister and I, just like you guys, sat there and said, well, the fact is there's only two choices. It's this or that. And it was just a part of putting reality up on a whiteboard so she could see the costs that went along with what services she needed. So I hope something we've said today helps make sense to you. But we love you, we care about you, and we're behind you guys in this transition. You're not alone. There's a lot of folks that are like us, having to deal with our aging parents, and we want to make the best decisions we can.
Leslie, thanks for calling in today. We're going to send you a copy of How We Love. And now let's go back to the phones, 1-800-229-3000. Here is Maisie listening in Colorado Springs on Sirius XM Channel 131. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hi. Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, what's going on?
My question is, I have a niece who is 42. She is really struggling with anxiety and depression, and won't seem to take any advice that would be helpful to her. She is she's mad at God because she doesn't even think she was supposed to be on this earth, and so she's mad at him. But she is just up and down, up and down. I've been here for about 2 weeks visiting her, and some hours she's good, and then the next she just crashes. And so my question is twofold. How do I help her? How do I keep trying to help her when she refuses any help, as like counseling or going to the doctor and getting medical attention? I think she has bipolar. She's been diagnosed with major depressive disorder. And I just don't. She won't go to counseling. She just won't do anything. And I'm getting frustrated because it hurts my heart and her mom's heart too.
Yeah, Maisie, I think Alice has a quick question for you before we go to break.
Well, I want you to consider,
Sure.
Maisie, why did she allow you to visit? Because in that is part of the answer. It's kind of miraculous that she's letting you stay there for her for 2 weeks. She wants something from you?
I'm not visiting her personally.
Okay.
My sister lives in Colorado Springs, her mom.
I see.
And so she lives at her own place, and I've got to see her, maybe 3 times since I've been here, which is a big deal because a lot of times she just is not up for any thing. But
Well, we're going to continue the conversation when we come back here on New Life Live. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. We're here for 2 hours today. Give us a call.
Hello, everybody. It's Becky Brown, and I just want to encourage you to be part of our spring match. It's like planting seeds in the lives of so many people. Every gift that you give to the match will be doubled up until $500,000. Isn't that amazing to think about all the lives that God can touch through your generosity and through this matching gift campaign? I know you want to be part of this match, and you can do that by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You can go to newlife.com/donate. You can also text the word match to 28950. I can't wait to see what God's going to do through your generosity. It will make a difference in the lives of so many people. Thank you in advance. To give to the match, text the word match to 28950, or you can go online at newlife.com, or you can always call us 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to
I
help.
came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, and y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Quickly, Ron will remind you about our matching gift that is going on right now. Every little bit helps. We have a match of $500,000. So whatever you give will be matched up to $500,000. That's amazing. So if you can give, do so at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or at newlife.com, or text the word match to 28950.
So let me ask you about that. So we have a gift of $500,000, and that means if we have folks that give, they will give the $500,000, and then what comes in from our listeners is another $500,000.
Basically, or maybe the other way around. Yeah. But
so
yeah,
it could be $1 million.
It could be $1 million. Yes,
so
yes.
That's what I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
That's a very generous gift.
Yes.
And that does so much for our show. And that's just not a little offering. So if you've thought about giving, honestly, now is the time to have whatever you give in your mind, it's double. So that is a wonderful offering.
It is. And there's other ways you can contribute as well, including the way Maisie does in Colorado Springs. She is a Club New Life member, so she's a monthly supporter, and we do appreciate that, Maisie. Are you still with us?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
So, Maisie, I misunderstood, but your niece apparently let you visit her even though you're not staying with her. Do you know why she allowed you into her space?
I know she loves me, and really her mom and myself are the only ones she really ever reaches out to. She doesn't really reach out to me, but she lets me be in on the scoop from her mom, and then she, we text each other back and forth. And so I think because I've invested so much time in her life, she trusts me.
That's crucial. She loves you, she trusts you, and she knows you love her. Now, would you tell us just a little about her background? Do you have any idea why she's going through so much pain?
I do. She has been so hurt, and even though she says she doesn't understand why she cries all day and stuff, I know deep down she does. She her parents divorced. Her dad they got saved when they were, just when the kids were just young. They went to Bible school. Her dad got his pastoral license or whatever, and worked at a church for a while, and was a pastor, and worked at a Christian university teaching ethics, and was having an affair. And at 15, her mom had to come out to our parents' house in California to stay for a while. She was disassociating, and so she had to get treatment. And so in that time when she was at home, she has a sister, but her sister had also moved out with another family in her high school years. And she just, her dad told her she needed to find a place to live if she wanted to stay in Colorado, because he was going to move in with his girlfriend, and she didn't want them. So she's had 2 divorces. She's had live-in boyfriends that have been emotionally abusive, and she just has low self-esteem. But, she has been jacked around growing up, and her dad has died. They didn't have a, close relationship at all, but her dad died 2 or 3 years ago of cancer. And so she has a mom and a stepdad, and her and the stepdad don't get along that great either. And
so Maisie, almost every trauma that could take place has taken place in your niece's life, and some of them multiple times. So you completely understand why she suffers, even though she doesn't necessarily see all the dots that are connecting there. And it bothers you that she won't take your advice because you probably know what would be helpful for her. Is that right?
Yeah. This morning she texted and said basically that, she doesn't want, my sister had given her some advice, and she was just like, that would make me like not have time to work through the issues, and then they'll just get worse. And they have gotten worse because she hasn't worked through the issues, but she has an excuse every time to, like, she's such high anxiety that I can't go to counseling, or I can't whatever. And those issues are just going to keep happening.
So of course it frustrates you because you know a way out, but she won't take it. And you probably have heard that unsolicited advice doesn't go into a brain that doesn't want it. We just shut down when we're given advice that we're not asking for. And so, although I understand your frustration, part of the strange solution is to not keep giving advice and to not offer advice without being asked. As she's already clearly stated, I don't want this advice anymore. The fact that she allows you into her life, your presence and your love for her is probably one of the most powerful ways you can help her. It's incredibly difficult because it doesn't seem like it's working, and it might not seem like it works for quite some time. So I want you to be supported and have an outlet where you can bring your frustration, your powerlessness, your helplessness, because you getting fueled up by somebody else, not even your sister, by somebody else who can just be an understanding listener. That will help sustain you to be a listening presence in your niece's life, where validation, empathy, and private prayer that you don't necessarily share with her can be the best ways you can help her, perhaps unbeknownst to her.
We're going to continue our conversation with Maisie when we come back here on New Life Live. Thank you for calling in. By the way, 1-800-229-3000 is the number, and we're going to be doing 2 programs today, so we welcome you to join our conversation. Whatever topic you want to talk about, whatever it is you're going through, maybe it's somebody in your family who's going through something and they don't want to call in, well, you can call in for them. We'll do our best to help them, but anybody that's going through anything, we are here to help you today. We've been doing this for 37 years now, And we've got a couple of really great people here to help you through this. Clinical psychologist Dr. Alice Benton and Dr. Sheri Keffer as well. So give us a call.
Restore gave me strength. It gave me more belief in my faith. I met up with a group of women that are going through things that they had no control over.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Dallas, Texas, May 2nd through the 4th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
I had a great experience at Restore.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
And let's go back to Maisie for a few more minutes. Are you still with us, Maisie?
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Sheri.
Maisie, my heart goes out to you. You know, it goes out to you because it's easy to hear how much you love your niece. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to also hear how you mentioned the word, Dr. Alice, powerless and helpless. How helpless we can feel when there's someone that we love that's deeply hurting. And they're not open. They're not willing to get help. And it made me wonder, I guess, how vulnerable you and your sister are in your family, and she's just a part of that family line. But how important or how comfortable was vulnerability in your home, letting people see the hurts that were going on?
Probably not very much. They lived in a different state always from my family. And my sister got married when she was young and moved away. And so, but in either family, it wasn't, vulnerability wasn't very much a thing.
Yeah, no.
We had.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You had.
I was just going to say we had 7 kids in our family, and so it was just very much like, we got to get going. We don't have time to, listen to, your feelings. We need you to get in the car and, we got to get to church or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of the move and groove family, right? Instead of pausing and kind of going into those cracks and crevices and grooves inside of us, there's this, moving and not really being. One of the things I wondered about is, have you ever shared vulnerably with your niece about, I imagine if you're a New Life member, you've probably, I mean, have you gone to workshops? Have you done some counseling? Have you? A lot of our New Life members have, right? Because they've just they've
and that's why I know that there's so many good resources out there.
Right. Have you ever tried going in through the side door? What I mean by that, when I say side door, I think about my own nieces, where I've had conversations, very vulnerable conversations, where I've shared something about myself, my own struggle, an area of hardship or failure. It always scares me. You started the show today, Alice, talking with your kids about, puberty. But that same fear I've had when I've entered into conversations with my nieces who are struggling with something. And it's hard because I think I want them to look up to me, but in situations like this where I've just decided to fall on my own sword and share an area of my life that I'm struggling or that I went to get help in, it didn't necessarily make them make a decision, but it did change the way that I felt to them.
Yeah. And I think maybe that's a little bit why she does let me into the hurts in her life, because I have shared that with her. I've shared, I've been inpatient. I've been in intensive outpatient programs. I struggled with mental health, and have went to the doctor and got on medication and went to counseling and went to intensive, and how much just even being in community, at church or, in a book club or whatever she can get community at. I have shared those things with her and feel like she still just doesn't think that she doesn't think anybody understands her.
So this is the thing. I want you to see that is a seed. What you did is risk vulnerably. And like any seed, it's like you want her to be a redwood forest tree right now because she needs it. And you're going and you're watering this seed. And you haven't even seen the seed sprout through the dirt yet with her. But I want you to value what you've done and what you are doing, because you did fall on your sword. You did share vulnerably. And who knows if, when all that nurturing, all that pouring water, all that sunshine, all that nutrients in the soil that you've been investing in her heart, that you'll see a green leaf come above the ground. But it's like standing there, watching, waiting. It's like waiting for, watching a water boil. Like, we can get so frustrated because it's not happening quick enough. But please do not underestimate what you've done. You've invested.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And so that might help you pull back this fear or panic around what she isn't doing, to just say, I am watering a seed right now.
Allowing our loved ones to choose to stay in their pain is excruciating, but they get to choose that. And the saying that we stay in our pain until the pain of changing is less than the pain of remaining, because it's so scary to go into the change process. And so I'm gonna stay with my hurting tooth because I'm so afraid of going to the dentist. I'm not doing that until I can't get up.
Exactly it.
Yes. So we really have to let the crisis build, because maybe when the pain gets worse, then she might choose help, and she knows who to go to. Two last pieces of advice. You might offer to pay for some of her sessions if she ever chooses to go. And you might invite her to be angry at God with you, which is hard for us Christians to do. And if you do that, I want you to think of a time that God let you down and be willing to share one of those stories, again, if you already have, with her. Thank you for being such a safe aunt. to
Yeah,
your
you're
niece.
amazing.
Oh,
You're amazing.
you.
Your name is Maisie. I'm like, you're amazing. Yeah.
Sounds good.
That's great. Do we have a
Okay,
resource
thanks,
from our
guys.
library that we can send to Maisie, or maybe one to pass on to her niece? Is the one that you can think of? We've got so many resources there. Plus, we have a video library that I'm sure has resources that she can watch. I mean, there's always something going on there on newlife.com and our social media as well.
I'd like to send Changes That Heal.
Changes
by
That
Henry
Heal.
Cloud.
Okay, Maisie, stay on the phone, and we will send that to you in the mail. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call. Rebecca, we're going to get to you in a moment, but we were talking about all these intensives that we offer here at New Life, and one of them is the Intimacy in Marriage Weekend. It is happening July 25th in Washington, D.C. What are some of the breakthroughs, Alice and Sheri, that you've seen? You've facilitated some of these. What are some of the stories that maybe you can tell us about why it's so important for all of our listeners to get to this weekend in July?
We get to see people come in the doors initially, and they are weighed down by such uncomfortable emotions, usually shame, grief, anger, isolation. And they start the weekend off that way, not wanting to talk with anybody, because that's how most of us feel. But as they enter into the process, they gain a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a community. They start to let their guard down, and they realize that God always offers a way out and a way forward, even if family members aren't going to change and aren't going to do the work. But they leave empowered, and they leave linked arm in arm with the people they form relationships with at these weekends. There's a lightheartedness and a joy, even if the problems back home haven't changed, but they are changed when they leave our intensives.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help but think about what I love about the Intimacy in Marriage Weekend is that it's couples. Like, where else can you go where you can listen to somebody else's wife who really feels just like you do, and somehow your husband listens to her and has the big aha moment, even though you've been saying that to him for decades. And there's just something very natural that happens at the weekend where, you know, the couples come in and they're like as tight as a rosebud, you know, with like thorns coming out, some of them. But sitting with others, they begin to feel safer and freer to talk about what's going on. They listen differently with the different sharing that happens in the group. The weekend normalizes stressors in a marriage that are common, and you don't get that when you're just listening to a speaker. That's what I love about our weekends, is they're very interactive. And yes, of course, there's great information that you're given, but then you get to be in a crock pot and be seen, be heard, have issues come to the surface, and it's good. It's life-changing.
You can get all the details at newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Rebecca, you're next. Everyone else, 1-800-229-3000.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Many people are struggling today. You've heard lots of the phone calls that we've had today on New Life Live. They're struggling with addictions, trying to resolve conflict in their family. They're emotionally frozen from trauma, living as if on autopilot. Our work is not always a comfortable conversation, as I'm sure you've also heard on New Life Live, but what we do impacts lives tremendously. And we can't do it without your financial support. When you give right now, your gift will be doubled thanks to a generous matching gift, providing life-changing help and healing to those who need it most. Please give today and make twice the impact. You can do it at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE or by texting the word MATCH to 28950. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call if you want to talk to Doctors Alice Benton or Sheri Keffer. We're going to be here for another hour. When we're done with this hour, we would love to talk to you. And right now we're going to get to Rebecca, who is in Richmond, Virginia, listening on WAVA. Hello, Rebecca. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hi, can y'all hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right, good. I'm struggling. Honestly, I'm in a relationship that is not right because he's legally married, even though we've been living together 2 years. And he's a narcissist, and I'm not calling him names. It's just he has all the textbook qualities of a narcissist, and I've been trying to leave, but he takes everything. And then he's really nice and swoos me back, the whole story, and I want so bad because I have all the faith in the world in God, but I don't act on it to just trust that God's got me. And I'm just struggling to get out of this situation because God has blessed me with peace and happiness before, and I don't believe He wants me to live like this.
Alice?
And I just need suggestions.
Your faith is strong, Rebecca, and your desire to get back on track with God's will for your life. So I honor that. And the fact that you're willing to be so honest with us. This must be very difficult to talk about. And I wonder, Rebecca, have you become isolated within this relationship? Do you not have girlfriends with whom you can share what you're going through?
I do, but I can only share with them over the phone.
Why is that?
I'm just, I can't. I mean, I can go places, but then I'm accused of cheating, and I just don't go anywhere anymore. And I haven't been to church in 4 weeks. And
his anger really holds you captive because you do whatever you can to not elicit his accusations. Is that right? You're trying to stay safe and keep the peace?
I just want to make him happy, and I know that the relationship is never going to be blessed because it's not right.
Does his anger remind you of anything that you grew up with? Was one of your parents angry in this sort of way?
And it's not the anger, it's the manipulation and the drug use.
Rebecca, can I just ask what your question is specifically? I want to make sure we hit your mark today. What do you want help with? What's your question?
I need suggestions. That's really I'm trying to gather tools in my toolbox, basically, if that makes sense.
But suggestions for what? How to get out?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not violent.
No, but let me tell you where I'm getting really curious about you. Where were you abandoned or left or felt to believe that you are worthless, that you don't matter?
It started with my mother and my father.
What happened?
Oh, my mom valued men more than their children, and my dad valued drugs more than anything. And there's not even a baby picture of me.
Oh, sweetheart.
And then Dad runs off, and Mom runs off with men, and I had been in recovery. I've been in recovery, still sober, for almost 4.5 years, 5 years now. I lost count, but I had gained that peace beyond understanding and that happiness. And the day I left to move in with him, it went away.
Yeah, of course it did. Of course it did. It makes me think, the story that makes me think so much about you is the woman at the well with Jesus. Because she had been used by many men, and she had no value. She wouldn't even go get water because of feeling like she was mocked or made fun of. So she didn't go when normal people would go. And her isolation kept her sequestered until Jesus basically told her everything about her, and with love and kindness. But the fact that you don't even have a baby picture tells me so much about why you are attached to someone who will love bomb you. Someone who is not, he's not faithful to you. He's not faithful to his wife, and he's not faithful to you. He's using both of you. In a way, you've kind of married your mom and your dad. I mean, you're not married. You're living with this narcissistic man who represents your mom in that he's playing hokey pokey. He's got you on one side and he's got his wife on the other. That's infidelity, right? You're participating in that hokey pokey, but it's your mom's history, and then your dad's drug use. He's used drugs too. So do you realize you're living with your mom and dad and you're not being valued? You're not actually getting what you want, which is to be seen, to be heard, to be loved, to be cherished, to be wanted, to be desired, to be exclusive. You're not getting any of that.
And Rebecca, when you've been powerless against other situations, like your previous substance use, you figured the way out. And that was through safe, sober people who had what you needed. You need that again in your life. I think you've lost track of some of the ways you were able to get and maintain your sobriety. And so even though he hasn't been physically violent, I heard you say that there's a lot of violence in the way he treats you. You might consider a domestic violence shelter, which has so many resources for women in similar situations, both the counseling and the employment ways to get back on your feet if you're financially dependent on this man and that draws you back. But Rebecca, you know you need to get back in with a sisterhood of women, with a group who can help support you and give you the courage and strength you don't have enough of on your own.
And along with that, precious Rebecca, I might suggest you see if you can find either an online or a face-to-face group of women only that have what's called love, sex, and relationship addictions. Because I think what might have happened, girl, when you got sober, and I'm so proud of you that you have 4.5 or 5 years of sobriety. I'm stinking proud of you. But what happened is that addiction got transferred over to a human being.
And we can put you in touch with somebody. Stay on hold. Thank you so much for calling in. We've got another hour to go. Call us up at 1-800-229-3000.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.